Okay, moving on to this Euro Yen now. Let's see where we're lying going into the close of the month here. Obviously, things are looking pretty bearish. We've removed the sort of the all-time low here at 112.10 going into the close of the month. But the only thing with this pair is at the moment that we have no bullish thrusts anywhere. We've we had this one bullish thrust here, but this level obviously wasn't sort of greatly important because it was removed to the close on the monthly basis, and then obviously we went back up through that kind of level there, and so obviously we didn't sort of fail that level as such. So I've just removed it. That's basically the only bullish thrust we've made since sort of 2008, June 2008 there. So yeah, not really too much to play with on the monthly chart here. I mean, I guess you could look at the previous low here at 119.63, excuse me, and 119.75, but other than that, based on the thrust sort of analysis here, there's really not too much to be looking at here on the monthly chart. On the weekly chart, we are on the fifth bar of a buy setup. So again, the market could easily go lower from here based on this weekly price action. And then on the daily, we have the buy setup in place, so we could see a bit of a bounce from here. And we've got buy setups on sort of pound yen and pound dollar as well, and obviously a weekly buy setup on the euro US dollar. So I mean, there is a possibility that we could see a bit of a bounce on these pairs. But I mean, at the same time, we do have really strong levels coming up on the US dollar yen, which I'll go into in that weekly outlook, obviously. So yeah, so based on that, I mean, looking at the monthly, obviously bearish thrust, new level here, 125.43. So obviously things are looking pretty bearish, but we've got sort of obviously, let me see, into June. We've got 4.5 weeks trading in June, so it's a long time, so we can cover a lot of this big bearish thrust that we've made here. I mean, yeah, possibly the 119.63 level could be a level to look at. I think it was a fairly important level before. I think it was the first target on the daily. It was 119.26. So I mean, that is going to produce some resistance for sure. We can see how the market built up around about here. We had a TDST support, so anywhere around that 119 to 120 level I'd expect the market to really struggle. But in terms of thrust analysis or anything, there's not really any kind of levels that I can find to actually take a trade. Obviously, since I basically joined the group, I've not really done anything on this pair. I was looking to sell the 128.96 level, but we didn't get up as high as that, and the action was a bit sort of random on the daily and the weekly chart. And until sort of 3-4 weeks ago, we did finally remove a thrust level, and then we had a good 15-minute sell signal there. I can't remember, I think the risk was maybe 30-40 pips or something, and you could have had quite a good move on that. Obviously your main target would have been the low here at 112.10, that kind of area to break through the new low. So could have been a really nice trade there, but unfortunately I'm not there all the time at the moment to take these signals. So I mean, in terms of going into this week, like I say, it's kind of looking like we might see a bounce in the sort of pound yen, pound dollar, euro dollar. So I mean, obviously if we do get a bounce in the euro dollar on the back of the 9 count buy setup on the weekly, then we could see a bit of a bounce on this pair. And obviously, like I say, going into the new month, we can trade higher for a couple of weeks of the month and then have a big failure towards the end of the month to kick in the sort of overall trend. So we've made the TDF buy setup here on the daily chart. So, and I was looking at this 4-hour chart as well, and we've made a TDF sell setup having failed the TDST resistance on the 4-hour chart. And so I mean, I guess not that I'll be there to actually take this or look at it, but I guess like keeping an eye on this 109.55 level for a bounce would be a good idea. If you can get a 5-minute signal there, 10, 15, 20 pips risk, I think it would certainly be worth it having this TDF buy setup in place, and also the euro dollars 9 count on the weekly in place, sort of pending a thrust bar there. So I think it would be worth keeping an eye on that level. And then that would obviously mean that we'd cover most of this thrust bar, as we usually do on these trades, and then maybe head higher from there. And you could look at the 115.48 or the TDST resistance at 118.71 as other possible targets. But I certainly think if we do move higher, I can't see it getting any higher than this sort of cluster support now turned into resistance level here, up around the 119, 120 area. So it would be a sort of a week, sort of a short term, couple of weeks sort of position that you'd be looking to take there. But other than that, there's really not much else to find that could make me want to get involved here. But if there's anything that pops up during the week, then I'll be sure to let you know. Like if we make an inside bar or anything around about here, it would be worth buying the breakout. But other than that, nothing else. So I'll be in touch later on in the week. Okay, cheers.